Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nerd Soup's Top 10 Movies of 2016. Now, I've spent a lot of time making this list. A lot of time. One can say I've spent an entire year crafting it. I've probably remade the list about 30 times. I'm not kidding you. I have enjoyed many of the films that were released in 2016, but there can only be 10. So if you see any movie left out that you loved, please comment on this video and tell me I'm wrong, and I'm an idiot, and that my parents never loved me.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Without further ado, let's get started.
You know I wouldn't do this if I had any other choice. But he's my friend. So was I.
Unfortunately, Captain America Civil War is a movie that I never got the chance to review in 2016. I was neck deep in Game of Thrones Season 6 goodness, but let me tell you, Captain America Civil War was not just my favorite superhero film of the year, but it's one of my favorite superhero films of all time. Civil War to me is the best superhero movie since The Dark Knight, which is probably my second favorite movie ever. The two films are similar in their thrills, but a bit different in execution. Civil War is an action movie. It's essentially the Avengers sequel that we always wanted but never got. It's a movie that was 4 years in the making. The personal rift between Tony Stark and Steve Rogers was explored in both Avengers movies, and in Civil War their respective ideologies and superhuman powers are on full display. But it's the two MCU rookies, Spider-Man and Black Panther, that steal the show in this one. Making his long-awaited MCU debut, Tom Holland as Spider-Man is probably the best live-action Spider-Man to date, and he's only in the movie for like 20 minutes. He perfectly balances the nerdy Peter Parker persona with the arrogant and wisecracking alter ego, Spider-Man. I personally felt that Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther gave the best performance of the entire movie. Just look at those leg kicks. Woo! But every character really brings their A-game in this movie. Credit to the Russo brothers who have crafted two of the most impressive action movies of all time. First Winter Soldier and now Civil War. These two Marvel masterpieces of action-adventure have set the standard for choreographed hand-to-hand combat and action set pieces. With the Russo brothers, more is more. Now, if you have seen Shin Godzilla, please comment on this video and tell me you've seen it, because I currently don't know any other human being on planet Earth that has seen this wonderful movie. And I want to talk about how much I love it, how much we love it. So if you have seen it and did not enjoy it, humor me. When I tell you that this is the best Godzilla movie that I've ever seen, it's because I've only seen two other Godzilla movies, and one of those was the 1998 disaster film. And I'm not talking about the genre. Hey-oh! And the other was the 2014 Godzilla movie, which was billed as Heisenberg vs. Godzilla. And you know, Bryan Cranston got Sean Beaned in like the first 30 minutes. Shin Godzilla is not a movie about Godzilla. It's a disaster movie that is more of a political satire than a monster film, exploring the human response and repercussions of a natural or man-made disaster. There's not a lot of Godzilla in this movie, but I was on the edge of my seat the entire film. I love this shit. I live for movies like this. The politics, the planning. Every step towards the destruction of Godzilla shows a new aspect of the Japanese political machine. The looming shadow of a nuclear holocaust still haunts the Japanese psyche, even more so than Godzilla, so every action, every decision is made with a clear understanding of Japan's history.
Your mother and I really are under a lot of pressure at the moment.
We had a look at our accounts and...
We're taking you out of school.
We're not taking you out of school, we're transferring you.
I'll tell you this much about Sing Street, laddie. I reckon it's one of the best films I've seen all year. Alright, that's enough of that. I remember seeing the trailer for this movie and screaming, "Oh my god, that's Littlefinger!" Did you know he played the CIA dude in the beginning of The Dark Knight Rises? Yeah, that's him. Sing Street is one of the last movies I saw in 2016, and I feel like if I had seen it earlier in the year, it would be a bit higher on this list, but whatever. Sing Street tells a story about a young man who is forced to change schools after his parents are on the verge of a divorce. He meets a girl, an outsider who is dating one of the older boys, and decides to form a band in order to impress and woo the girl. This is a story we have seen so many times before, but Sing Street is much more than the classic form a band to get the girl movie. It's a movie about regret and the innocence of dreams. When you're young, you believe you can be anything, a rock star, a famous author, president of the United States. But as you get older, reality sets in and most of your dreams become bittersweet memories. Sing Street is about taking that risk, refusing to live with regret, and then learning to live with yourself and the decisions you've made. The kids in this movie are fantastic. They don't talk like adults, they talk like kids. They're innocent, bratty, ambitious, and ill-prepared for the harsh realities of life. The only real problem I had with this film is the music. The music crafted by the band is so good, and there is no way a bunch of snotty-nosed Irish brats could have composed it. It's fire, dude. The music is absolutely fire.
Can I ask you a question? How come you ain't never liked me?
Like you? What law is there say I got to like you?
None.
All right then. Don't you eat every day? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't you eat every day?
Yeah.
As long as you in my house, you put a sir on the end of it when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
You eat every day.
Yes, sir.
Got a roof over your head.
Yes, sir.
Got clothes on your back.
Yes, sir.
Why you think that is?
'Cause of you.
Hell, I know it's 'cause of me. But why do you think that is?
'Cause you like me?
Like you.
Now, this is a movie that I really enjoyed. Fences was the second to last movie I had seen in 2016, and I plan on seeing it several more times in 2017. The cast in this movie is incredible. Denzel Washington and Viola Davis should be given their golden statues right now, because their on-screen chemistry and acting in this movie is far and away the best I've seen all year. Now, they did come into this film with a bit of an unfair advantage. Fences was probably the easiest movie that either actor has ever shot, due to the fact that they starred in over 100 Broadway productions of the play that the film was based on, Fences. Written by August Wilson in 1983, Fences tells the story of an African-American family living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania during the 1950s. The play chronicles the evolving African-American experience and the impact of race relations on African-Americans during this time period. And what's most interesting about this movie is that race is hardly ever mentioned. This is the classic example of show, don't tell. Yes, the character of Troy Maxson believes he could have played professional baseball if he was white, but in reality, he was just too old. The characters in Fences aren't outright telling you, our lives have suffered due to racism. The movie shows you the hardships and difficult circumstances faced by these individual characters. The character of Troy Maxson, played by Denzel Washington, lives in a constant state of mental stagnation and frustration. Being a former baseball star himself, he belittles his son's aspirations of becoming a collegiate football player. In Troy's mind, he believes he is protecting him because his son will never be accepted by society. Troy can only see the world through his own eyes. His perception of society has been shaped by years of racial injustice and persecution. It's a tragic story that is beautifully acted and written by a screenwriter who died 10 years ago, August Wilson, one of the best playwrights of the last 50 years.
You beat people up and charge money?
Yeah. Sad, isn't it?
How much would you charge to beat up my friend Janet?
What? How much you got?
$30?
That's good. This conversation is over.
When Ryan Gosling is old and crusty and no girl or man wants to have sex with him, we are going to look back on his performance in The Nice Guys and think, man, this is some vintage Ryan Gosling. And what a sweet ass. Gosling is obviously a leading man. Just look at that face. For a time, he was a leading man without a shtick. He had yet to break out with a career-defining role, but now he has one. First in The Nice Guys, and then again in La La Land, Gosling plays the role of the fast-talking, accidentally clever, affable dope, a role he was born to play, and with Russell Crowe playing the scruffy, overweight, everyman sidekick, this is a movie that was made specifically for its cast. Many people attributed the movie's success to the comedic chemistry between Gosling and Crowe, but I thought the story was just as clever, and the supporting performance by Angourie Rice was just delightful. This is what Shane Black does with child actors, clever stories. This is the type of movie Shane Black was born to make, which is why I will never understand why they hired him to make Iron Man 3. But The Nice Guys is one of the best movies of 2016. It's fun, it's fast, it's clever, it has a story that you really can't predict, and that's why it's number 6 on my top 10 movies of 2016. Oh, and it has a great cameo by Hannibal Buress.
Yeah, Marge, where the fuck have you been, man? Idiot, you didn't know that?
You fly everywhere, you don't even drive. What do you know?
He's got a point there, Bumble.
Yeah, whatever.
Are you alone out here? What are you doing so deep in the jungle?
The Jungle Book proved two things. One, that remakes can actually be better than the movie they're based on, and two, a tiger voiced by Idris Elba is fucking terrifying.
I can't help but notice there's this strange odor today. What is it? This scent that I'm on. I almost think it was some kind of man cub.
Jungle Book is probably the most innovative film of 2016. The CGI animals used in the Jungle Book are almost indistinguishable from their real-life counterparts. Without the visual and narrative success of the Jungle Book, I highly doubt that the live-action Lion King movie would even be considered. A movie that I'm still skeptical about, but I digress. The Jungle Book was a sleeper hit. It came out of nowhere and almost grossed $1 billion at the international box office. Jon Favreau proved himself to not only be one of the best directors working in Hollywood, but one of the great innovative and visual filmmakers, dare I say, of all time. What he and his team accomplished in the Jungle Book will be remembered as the moment when CGI became real. The animals in the movie are fucking ridiculous, and the story is good too. Disney has proved time and time again that a kids' movie can feature complex characters and storylines while still maintaining the innocence of a PG rating. The journey of self-discovery and self-acceptance found in the Jungle Book has grave and almost dire consequences, but the journey is necessary all the same. I remember when I saw the trailer for this movie the first time, one of the taglines read, "You feel like you're watching something that should not be seen." This is my type of horror film. Slow, nauseating, unsettling, with the complete absence of jump scares. Imagine that, a horror movie made in 2016 without jump scares.
You know what? Fuck you!
The Witch is a tale about a 17th century Puritan family that is forced to abandon their New England home. After settling in a secluded forest far from the Puritan settlement, the family begins their new life as farmers, isolated from society. As the story progresses, their family is torn apart by the evil temptation of Satan himself. The title character in this movie is played by Anya Taylor-Joy, but you don't realize that until the end of the movie. She is the oldest daughter in the highly religious family. She is a smart, normal young woman who is wrongly accused of witchcraft by her family. The actual witch lives deep into the woods and is barely seen on screen in her true form. After kidnapping their infant son, the close-knit family starts pointing fingers in one direction, the oldest daughter. This isn't just your average horror film, it's a horror film with a message, a commentary on the role and perception of women in the 17th century, how sexism and misogyny inspired the persecution of dozens of innocent women accused of witchcraft, something that is so ridiculous and silly, yet incredibly true. The movie is very disturbing and almost impossible to watch alone. It's a movie that can end a friendship. No normal person is going to look at you the same after recommending a movie like this. But for all you horror junkies out there, this is a must-see. It's not just a great horror movie, it's a great movie.
If you could take one guy to an island with you and you knew you'd be safe because he was the best man, he was going to keep you happy, if it was between me and your father, who would you take?
My daddy.
I think you're wrong about that.
Manchester by the Sea is probably the most human film of 2016, yet most people cannot fully relate to its hidden trauma. You will feel every emotion while watching this film. You will laugh, you will cry, you will think, and when that hidden subplot is finally revealed, well, your heart will sink. It's an unimaginable trauma, but something that could happen in real life. Grief is one emotion that everyone can relate to at one point or another in their life. There are certainly different levels of grief, and the pain explored in Manchester by the Sea can only be experienced once. It's not a film that invites a second viewing. I could barely sustain a first. And then you imagine experiencing something like this in real life. Casey Affleck gives a great melancholy performance as Lee Chandler, who spends his days working as a janitor in Quincy, Massachusetts. Lee is a loner. He has no friends. He has no girlfriend. He has no immediate family in the location he is currently living. After his brother dies and leaves him custody of his son, played by breakout star Lucas Hedges, he is forced to return to his hometown of Manchester, a town which has caused him great emotional pain and despair. Facing that pain almost becomes unbearable, and dealing with the logistics and emotional angst of a teenage boy who just lost his father is just as challenging. Michelle Williams gives the best performance of the entire cast, and she only appears in about 15 minutes of the 2-hour and 10-minute film. The dedication to her performance is what sets her apart. Any other actor could have become unfocused in such a small role, but her emotional depth and commitment really brings her character to life. There's a 5-minute scene that she's in that probably will win her the Oscar come February, and it's incredible because it's only 5 minutes long, but it's such an important scene to the 2-hour movie. Manchester by the Sea is an incredibly sad film, but somehow manages to maintain the lightheartedness of everyday life for middle-class Americans going through grief and dealing with death.
It's Kubo. This is my story.
Up until a few weeks ago, Kubo and the Two Strings was my #1 movie of 2016, and I was very excited to talk about it because this is a movie that kind of went under the radar. It only made about $70 million at the box office, and in my opinion, it's not only the best animated film of the year, but it's the second best movie of the year. In my review of the film, I called it a stop-motion masterpiece. Lakai, a studio known for the animated films Paranorman and Caroline, is slowly becoming my favorite animation studio. Whenever I'm bored at home with nothing to do, I'll go on YouTube and watch behind-the-scenes videos on how Kubo and the Two Strings was brought to life. It's incredible. The steady hands of the animators who brought Kubo to the big screen never cease to amaze me. It's one thing to dedicate your time and money to creating such a detailed and immersive animated world, but the movie also has to be good. You can have all the special effects in the world, but if your movie sucks, nobody is going to remember it. Avatar. Walking out of the theater the first time, I found myself marveling at the technical aspects of the film, the incredible set pieces, the fluidity of character movements and facial expressions. The story is simple and moral in its lessons and execution. Kubo learns that if the world was perfect, it wouldn't be. And though we may lose the ones we love, the memories we create can never be taken from us. The mythical themes are as big as the film's ambitions: destiny, family, finding your true purpose, courage, belief, faith. This is a rite of passage film that features some of the coolest and most original magic I've ever seen in a fantasy movie. The Japanese settings are incredible. You could see the influence on Japanese cinema in this movie, especially the master Kurosawa. And out of all these movies on the list, it's the only movie I got on Blu-ray. So
She captured a feeling, sky with no ceiling, the sunset inside a frame.
the modern-day musical isn't dead necessarily, but it is on life support. I'm somebody who loves musicals. I think Singing in the Rain is one of the best movies of all time, and La La Land is good, but it ain't no Singing in the Rain. Similar to The Artist in 2011, La La Land is a blast from the past, taking a long-forgotten genre and crafting what I believe to be the best film of 2016. It's not even close. This is a movie that I wanted to hate. You know when your friend is so excited to show you something that he or she loves and you want to hate it just to piss him off, but you end up secretly loving it? That's how I felt about La La Land. Because everybody loved it, I just wanted to be the outsider and be like, oh, I don't like it. I was not a fan of Whiplash due to its musical inaccuracies. So when I heard that the Whiplash guy was making a musical, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Here comes the most pretentious, overrated, piece of shit Oscar bait movie of 2016. La La Land is a masterpiece. It's a perfect film. It's charming. It's delightful. It features the best soundtrack and songs of any movie released in 2016. It's a throwback to a time when the same two leading actors would make a career off of making the same movie over and over again. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, the modern-day Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Dude, sign me up for like 10 more movies of that, because these two, their on-screen chemistry is incredible. We've already seen it in, what was that, the stupid, crazy, punch-drunk love shit movie. Ryan Gosling can play the fucking piano? Are you kidding me? Ryan Gosling, who is fucking sculpted by the Greek gods, can play the piano and he can dance? Emma Stone can sing. Not only can she sing, she can fucking sing, dude. She's actually really good. La La Land is a story about love and ambition and the possibility of failure. Two aspiring artists living in the hub of American entertainment, trying to carve out their own path while maintaining a relationship built on hope and innocence. And it's also really beautiful to look at, and the final musical number is one of the best scenes in motion picture musical history. La La Land is your best movie of 2016. Well, there you have it. our top 10 films of 2016. Thank you for watching, and if you think any films were left out that deserve to be on our top 10 list, please leave your suggestions in the comment section below. And be on the lookout for our top 10 TV shows of 2016, coming soon.